This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Welcome, cinephiles and cinebites, to a new Cinebite number 49. I'm your host, Annika P, Cinderella Hellborn, and all of that good shit. The boys Mox and Ono will be reviewing a newly released film. It's indie as fuck. It's on Amazon Prime right now if you want to check it out. It's called Pyewacket, and it sounds just as you would think it'd be spelled as Pyewacket. Pyewacket. It's pretty good. They're kind of on the fence about it with regards to the story, but overall, I think they thought it was a pretty good flick. Listen to what they have to say here on /tag configuration.
Alright, welcome to this new Cinebite /tag configuration. Today we're going to be reviewing the new indie horror thriller flick,
IFC Midnight's Pyewacket.
Pyewacket, yes. Directed by Adam McDonald and written by Adam McDonald. The film stars Nicole Muñez, Laurie Holden, and we have Chloe Rose and Eric Osborne as supporting actors in this film. Yeah, and I'm glad that the movie, like the title, is exactly pronounced how you think it'd be, and it wasn't some kind of fancy, like
like French or some shit.
Like, I was thinking of Wayne's World. It's a Pyewacket, land of the people or something.
Really
Something
wacky. Thanks, Alice Cooper.
This guy knows how to party or what, man? Yeah, okay, but yeah, Pyewacket. I didn't bother to even.
Silliest name ever, but at least it's, an original name. Like some fucking movies just like Into the Blood or whatever, right? You try looking that up, there's like 85 films named that.
Right. Yeah, this is the original title. Yeah. So, short summary. The film is focused on Leia, played by Munoz, and she's in a single-parent home. Her mom is Laurie Holden, and
Father recently deceased.
Yes, recently deceased, and the mother wants to move to a new area away from, I guess, her friends.
Everything that reminds her
of
the father, her husband.
Right, and Leia's not in. She's not down for this move.
No.
And
she's about what, like 16, we guess, like maybe a sophomore or junior.
Yeah. And she gets into, or she's into witchcraft, rituals, and spells and such. And she performs one, and it gets out of control. And that's basically the whole movie. We find out. She shouldn't have done this, and it turns out, bad stuff happens. It's like, okay. But, so the film starts off in kind of some B-roll wood action, like out in the woods, lots of dead trees, and someone's doing some voiceover with what sounded like a spell going off, and it later has, like, I think that was for nothing really, because it didn't really play through.
It didn't. Well, yeah, it didn't really set anything up that was paid off later. Like, I feel like it was kind of just montaged, anyways.
Yeah.
They just got across the fact that, okay, she's doing a spell.
See, what else can we say about this film?
I mean, it's a slow burn, of course. If you've seen this guy's first film, Backcountry, that was a slow burn too. I feel like, of course, this is not that, but I enjoyed Backcountry more. it builds to, and it slow burns to like a bigger explosion, a bigger climax and more tension than this one did. I feel like the protagonist of Pyewacket kind of loses the sympathy of the audience at some point, because at first you can identify with her being pissed that she's getting just uprooted by her mother. But when she, kind of rashly decides to put this murder curse on the mom, we get to see other facets of the mom, and then you're like, oh, you fucking stupid girl.
Yeah. I like that you bring that up, because then you did mention, like, whose side do you take, the mom or Leia?
Right.
And you took Leia's side, right?
I started on Leia's side. I could
Yeah.
see. I thought that was really a bitch move by the mom because she needed to get over, the pangs of her grief. She's
Right.
willing to uproot and just rip her daughter's life apart. I thought that was really unfair and really I feel like she put herself before her child.
Right. Let's get into like a lot of the things that didn't work in their story, because I feel like there's a lot actually, like
That did not work.
that did not work, and like missing subplots and things that didn't really
Go anywhere.
go anywhere. Like there was no reason for that to happen. Or like, well, one, I want to point out the mom. So we don't know what we know she's grieving still. But,
Right.
like there's that one scene where like Leia burst into a room and like the mom hid something, or like she was doing something.
Oh yeah, that was like early on, right? And she's like, "Why don't you knock?" I
Yeah.
told you go away.
And it wasn't like, what was she hiding? Was it drugs? Was it alcohol? Or like there was nothing, and it didn't explain itself later in the movie. It had nothing.
Right.
So like she wasn't.
Right,
What is she hiding? Or I wonder if that was like a setup to think, oh, maybe she's some kind of substance abuse or whatever that'll later play into like the way it was getting twisty towards the end.
Maybe. I mean, if they did show what she was hiding, I missed it.
Yeah.
But I feel like you said, it wasn't anything plot relevant.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like love letters from the father or pictures of the father. Just normal shit that, I don't know, maybe drew too much attention to itself for what it actually was, just part of her grieving process.
Mm. And there was we're gonna spoil this because there's a lot of things in this movie that were kind of just odd, and Jesus pointed out a lot of them too, and like he really picked it apart. Like what? Shout out to Jesus.
Jesus Boswell, Nekko Media contributor.
And there was the role of Janice, who plays Leia's really good friend.
The nose ring girl.
Yeah, and so Leia mentions to her that there's weird stuff going on in the house, right? And so Janice spends the night there. I don't know if she even did she spend the night on a school night? It's like, girl, who sleeps over their friend's house on a school night? My parents would have never.
Night,
yeah.
Yeah.
But they.
I mean, maybe the mom compromised, after uprooting her, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was a school night.
And so she brings over a joint, and they smoke.
Oh yeah, and they go ghost hunting or some
they
shit,
do
right?
go out ghost hunting, and
Ghost hunting.
they find nothing, and so like they
Right.
just go to bed, and it's not really a sleepover because then they're like, you go to that room, I'll go to this room, and we were like, that's not a sleepover, we stay up.
Well, that's a grown up sleepover. Like if you were to crash at your homie's house, right? You sleep on the couch, he'll sleep in his room.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, as a kid, you'd sleep in the same room because that's part of the fun of a fucking sleepover. Like,
Yeah.
you guys talk until you pass out or whatever, eat cotton candy.
But so the next morning, Janice is missing. And
Right.
They go looking for her, and it turns out she's in the car. And
Just cowering in terror.
yeah, how did
in
she
the
get in
car.
the car? Like I'll get the key. That was just little details, just like little odd.
Oh, like how? Right.
Open the door.
Unless-
you know?
Unless I mean, they leave the car unlocked in the woods. I don't know, maybe, but that
Yeah.
irked you. That irked you. Like,
That was just weird. Yeah,
just
I'll
the
go get the
detail. Like,
key.
how the fuck did she get in the car without the key?
Well, let me tell you though, when I was living in Oregon, we never locked the door at the house. We never did. Either someone was always
What
home.
about the cars, though? What about the
Oh, I
cars?
locked my. Yeah, I locked it. Yeah, for sure. But, so she's freaked out. Something clearly happened, and
Right.
we don't know what happened, and we never find out.
To this day, I don't know.
We watched this movie 2 days ago, and we still don't know what happened to her. No, and I feel like that whole sequence was for nothing. Then, like,
Only to like ramp up the tension and
yeah, like
fucking mystery of it all.
Is it supernatural stuff going on? Is because then, well, we forgot to mention that Leia did put on a spell already, the Pyewacket spell, which involved
that's probably the first plot point, right? After that, we are taken into the second act.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we forgot to mention all this. So the Pyewacket spell involved
all this crucial information.
the mom's hair, some milk, and I think it was.
I have Newt.
I think she.
No, it was like a pretty simple. Conjuring, right?
Like she got it from the her kitchen. Like she got some spices, and I think the hardest part was
dangerous witchcraft is, y'all.
She had to slice. She had to give some blood, and she said some spells, and she poured that little mixture of liquids into the ground.
To the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But later we see some shadowy manifestation.
Yeah.
But
like a silhouette takes on a fucking
ghost.
Yeah,
like a shadow.
An almost like physical form ish.
Well, no, I was referencing the actual movie Ghost. So you remember those shadowy demons?
Oh,
yeah.
Those were actually pretty good.
Yeah. So you see some of that action in there. But we don't know what it is because then it's a mixture of witchcraft and I think Satanism because we see the pentagram in there.
Well, I mean, I think I've seen a movie where they say that the pentagram gets like a false association,
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, she's like walking around with that shit on her backpack like it's a fucking Slayer sticker or Slayer decal. Like, stop being so wannabe evil, fucking crazy girl.
Yeah, that's true. She had patches on her backpack. But no, she was listening to some freaking, like, black metal.
Remember, we were having trouble, like, placing the time, like, the period.
It did feel, what would you call it? Time ambiguously
kind of
regarding time.
It was ambiguous at first. It seemed. I mean,
because they were listening to straight up like,
fucking new wavy.
Yeah, new wave.
Kind of like,
like
emo-ish, yeah.
And they dressed like shit. It too. But
every single one of her 5-member group of friends in fucking acid wash jeans,
and they
fucking
pretty much
shit.
Wear the same thing the whole movie. Like even if it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, same jacket, same shirt.
And I was saying, I get it from like a practical filmmaking standpoint. That's one less thing for them to keep dibs on, right?
Right. But then again, I'm sure that's what kids, do. Or I know I did in college was wear the same thing.
Every single time.
Every single time. Yeah. Same hairstyle, but they got to do the hair. The hair was very important, apparently.
That one dude's hair was probably hard to keep in check. Like, they had to have the fucking continuity person be constantly taking pictures.
Script supervisor, make sure that hair is combed over to the left. Always.
Should be flopping from take to take.
Oh, okay, it's Wednesday. Put it on the other side. All right. Okay, so she did the Pyewacket spell. Now we're going into weird territory. And it gets weirder because then I still haven't figured out, like, is she crazy or did the spell actually happen? There's no, I guess distinguishing kind of um
Well, there's no resolution to which was it, right?
yeah. Well, and they don't point out like I guess some kind of camera technique revealing what is reality and what is not. What's in her head and is this an
Mm,
actual demon like doing all
demon
this
or
stuff? Yeah.
magical thing.
Yeah. And
I
so
I personally don't think so, but they left enough ambiguousness. Also, did she try to undo the spell at all? I can't remember. We were too busy fucking making fun of it.
no, so I got it. So she actually got into contact with that author who wrote that book, and
Well,
um,
that I remember. They were
yeah,
like Skyping, like
yes,
full blown with like a published
yeah.
author with fans, and she
I'm
just has his Skype account.
I'm so jealous because she sent one email and he replied back, and I'm still waiting on emails from people. Hey, you want to do this interview? Like, yo, if that author
I
got
know.
time, I know you got time. Come on, please. Simple no, just say I don't got time. That's all you gotta say. Don't let me wait in limbo. But so
Waiting in vain.
so they totally talk about it, and he says you have to do the same ritual to undo it, but you have to do it in reverse. And I'm like, "Ugh, okay, and I was thinking, okay, so she's gotta does she have to somehow dig up all that juice that she poured into the earth and do the whole just do it backwards? But I think when she goes to attempt to do it, it was too
You can't
late
find.
already. Yeah.
Oh,
Like because she saw Laurie Holden's body, all this other stuff.
oh,
Other
that's like
things.
right at the end. Then
Yeah.
that's like at the fucking third act already.
Yeah, yeah. So it was right away. Like she got into contact with him. Okay, this is what you got to do. Third act. But by then, yeah, it's already too late. So
I know it's like way too late. She had the whole second act to try and like turn this shit about, but she like waited the entire fucking meat of the film to be like, hey, how do I reverse this?
yeah. I had a shout out to Laurie Holden, and cause
Awesome as usual.
yeah, and it's funny because I just saw Silent Hill or watched it again not too long ago, and she goes out the same way she did in that movie.
Oh yeah,
In
that's
this
right.
movie. Spoiler alert. Like she totally it's like the same way. It's like, oh damn. But in Silent Hill she goes out like a G. Like she didn't it's crazy because she doesn't scream out, right? She always says, Mama be with me, and the camera stays
Well,
on her
in
the whole
Silent
time.
Hill, yeah, she
Oh.
doesn't scream out, but she screamed as shit in Pyewacket.
Yeah. She did.
I was
Oh.
like, you fucking crazy little girl, what is going on?
Yeah, and so
I like though that while she was burning her mom, she didn't say anything like on the nose or cheesy like "die demon, you're not my mother" or state something obvious. Like we just got to see her facial reaction, watching her burn the quote unquote demon.
yeah, and it like the film kind of reveals like it doesn't let you know it's pretty open ended.
Hmm.
But we do know that she in fact did do all this stuff, so it's not like it was someone else and she thought it was her, or there's no real twist other you see what you see is what you get at the end.
Yeah, I feel like the last half of the movie kind of steals big time from an Austrian film called I think Good Night Mommy, something like that.
Okay.
Only thing that movie was way better at slow burning the single conflict.
Mm.
This one felt kind of all over the place. Not all over the place, but like you said, there were a lot of subplots or scenes that didn't seem to go anywhere or to build toward the central conflict.
Yeah, and like the whole movie, I'm wondering, it's kind of odd because all of this happened because this young woman or high schooler was just mad at her mom for moving,
Not everyone, man.
and she put on
So
this
that-
spell. It's like
Right.
teenage rebellion, like just
Gone wrong, like to
gone
its at
wrong.
its most extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, that's the terrible part. Like, oh, if someone just would have talked to her, maybe, or the
Mm.
mom could have handled the situation better. Like, well, she did make some sacrifices. It was a 2-hour drive, I think a 4-hour round trip to bring her back to the
It
same
sounds that
school.
way, yeah.
So it's like, all right, but I mean, yeah, what can you do? Poor family. This is about her. Nobody wins in this one.
Yep.
Oh,
Now she's gonna end up in social services or like committed.
oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of parts to this story that just I think were unnecessarily in there. And like what Jesus said, this would have made an excellent short film.
I think so.
Yeah.
Better,
A
yeah.
better
I
short
don't
film
know
than
if
a
there
full length.
was enough witchcraft material for a full 97 minutes.
Yeah. Because a lot of I noticed too were just exterior shots of the surroundings. And I think that kind of filled in for time for it to make that hour and a half length.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it needed to be 97 minutes. I think they could have cut it to 89, 90 minutes without altering anything, really.
Yeah. And so, but I like to think that aside from the story, the saving grace of this film is all the performances by Nicole Munoz and Laurie Holden.
Yeah.
She drove the film for sure. And
Well, I like too that it's one of those kind of negative transformative arcs, because even at one point her friends start telling her that she's gone off the deep end.
all right, yeah.
Remember Flock of Seagull hair guy or
Yeah.
whatever? They got into like a fuck you match.
Right. And like, oh man. Okay, yes, that's true. Oh man. They could have played on that more. Like, cause then when she's reading up on the rituals, it was just one scene, and then she goes and performs it. It's not like, not like a whole, like maybe a 10-minute sequence where she's going to the library, taking out books, doing.
You
research.
would have wanted that
I
whole
would've,
traditional,
cause that would have been
showing
more.
the picture montage over her reading montage, and then the demonic drawing book. Like, where the fuck are these books?
Yeah. You got to go read was it Milton, the Paradise, I forget what it's
Paradise Lost.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like 7, right? Because then Morgan
Yeah,
Freeman,
yeah.
see,
That's
that
what comes
sequence-
in my mind when I see that whole researching montage thing, right?
because that's
Fucking
what
Morgan Freeman in the big ass library.
that's how you do it. And in this one, it's like Leia just went to she found one book, found one recipe. It's like,
I
okay.
mean, she may as well Wikipedia that shit.
Yeah. So I think there should have been a research montage. I like those too. So, I'm put in the work, and then you probably get some kind of outcome. Then I can be more sympathetic when it doesn't work out. I'm like, you put all that time, and it just didn't. It went wrong, and I'm like, all right.
Oh, you feel like, of course it backfired.
Yeah.
You read one book in one night, and then you went to perform magic.
Yeah.
Like, of course it didn't work.
It's not like, you just take a recipe, it's like, okay, I need flour, sugar, okay. And then
Right.
I'm trying to make a cake, and then I got something else. It's like, okay, all right. I mean, put in the work, girl. But that's probably one part of the story.
I say maybe that's a character flaw, maybe not necessarily a story flaw. Because I feel like teenagers are famous for being lazy and impulsive.
I like they read it one place and like, okay, we can do this.
Good enough, and their opinion is formed, and then they just go out and they like shoot it out, like they know what they're talking about.
Okay. Yeah.
But for you, it affected the flow.
Yeah.
Well, like you and Jesus were kind of against her from like pretty early on. Like I was with her until about the halfway point. Where I didn't see her actively trying to undo it. She's like coming all creeped out about the things that are happening. But I'm like, they're happening potentially because of that fucking shitty spell you cast. Like,
right. Yeah. So I was thinking like, okay, you got to do what your parents say. Okay, we're moving. What? Oh, okay. All right. How can I make this work? All right. But then the mom was like, I'll still drive you to school. See, it's compromise right there. It's compromise.
Right, that's a concession. She doesn't have to change schools,
Yeah.
get new friends.
That's nice, and they don't have to, like GE is like, okay, she has to go to the same school even though she lives like outside of that county. All right,
Right.
but yeah, the performances were wonderful. Lori
The
Holden
performances were good.
and Nicole Munoz, excellent. I hope to see more of her work in the future. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. Should we point out like how it was racially ambiguous? Like she could have been adopted.
Oh, well, I feel like you and Jesus were like on that. I didn't really give a shit. I mean, she's brown, she's dark haired, dark features, and both her parents are like blondes.
Yeah, and
Really like.
I thought that might have played in like, okay, yo, she adopted, she Damien, something is gonna happen at the end. Like, she's really.
She comes with like a
We're gonna find
genetic
her
history.
like levitating at the end. Like, oh, okay, yeah, she was.
I know
born
we
into
made a
this.
lot of witch jokes.
Yeah, all right. But no, that had nothing to do with it.
No fucking no witch explosion at the end. Which honestly,
Yeah.
that was the one part of the witch that I liked. It gave me closure that okay, so she was a fucking witch.
She was a real witch. Okay, yeah. And then this one, it turns out no, or
I feel like they're leaning to no. She went crazy.
yeah,
Maybe possessed, whatever. But
it's kind of
I
open.
mean, something wasn't right with her.
Yeah, but I feel like the story didn't give enough to give a clear. You can't really point out like, even though it's open ended, it's not enough details in there to like say okay, she's really a witch or she's just crazy. Like it's very ambiguous, I think. But
Yeah, and I don't know if the film merits the kind of analysis to look for the clues like some ambiguous or open-ended movies are. Like, you get the sense like, oh, I need to rewatch this. Like, for me, Annihilation. That's definitely a movie I want to watch again and try and pick up on shit I missed.
yeah, this one maybe. It might be.
Pyewacket, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll be on IFC in a couple months anyways, so.
for sure. Okay. Well, overall, final review.
Well, with all the criticisms in place, because it is an indie film, I want to support. So, go watch. It's available to stream pay-per-view on Amazon and probably at other pay-per-view services as well.
For sure. Great performances, and definitely go watch for that. This is a Nekko Media podcast.